Probably a good time to point out that I haven't driven a car in about 7 months. I didn't tell them that. June 28th, 2020. I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I'm not real sure why I like them, but I can tell you what I don't like about them. It seems like every time I rent a car from them, there's some sort of confusion. It's not that the cars aren't good, and it's not that the price isn't good, and the service is okay. I think I'm just a sucker for branding. You know, they say Enterprise will pick you up, but they can't pick me up today because of the So tomorrow's the big day. Got 1 day left in New York, and the plan for today is pick up the rental car, hopefully with no problems. Also plan on taking a joyride into Manhattan. We'll see how much of a joy it is. It's been a while since we've even been in the city, but we wanted to drive through one last time before we leave. And we'll have the car, so you know, that's what we're gonna do. Back to Enterprise's service, I don't think it's their fault, but anytime, you know, something goes a little different than planned, the people that I'm talking to on the phone just kind of freak out. Like, for instance, a few minutes ago, the girl called me and she's like, hey, just confirming your reservation for today at 12. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there by 12. I'm walking it right now because we don't have a car. And she says, well, can you get here early because we actually close at 12? No problem, I don't mind it at all. 30 minutes goes by, I look at the app that I made the reservation on and it shows that the reservation's canceled. No upcoming reservation. So I call back up. Everything's still cool, but one of the only things I did really like about them was their app, and it's not working right. So I'm not sure what it is I like about them, but that's who I rented the car from this week. So got a 2-day road trip coming up. Stopping in at Harrisonburg, Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley. By the way, it is hot today. This has got to be the hottest day in Brooklyn so far. But we're gonna stop in halfway, or a third of the way. I'm not gonna try and drive it all in one night. I've done that before and that's not much fun. So it's gonna be a third, and a third in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And then we're also going to stop in Knoxville. So it's about 5 or 6 hours of driving each day. I can do that no problem. It's been a while since I've driven a car. What's going on here? But should have brought some water with me. Like I said, I don't want any problems. So I'm not going to try and drive at night. I don't think that's a good idea. And I've done it before. I've driven the whole thing in 24 hours without stopping at a hotel. You can do it, but it's not a lot of fun. It's not my preferred way of travel. This is what playgrounds in Brooklyn look like usually. Little area recessed into the ground. It is open now. They were locked for quite a while, you know, during the pandemic. I guess we're still in. They're easing up on some of the rules. Not sure what all these people are in line for. So that's a church. A lot of talking going on, not a lot of praise and worship. The least bit of fun I'm going to have today is packing up the van. It's a 7-passenger van. Ironically, I think it's the same type vehicle that I drove 3 years ago. They got towed. By the way, that cost about $350 by the time you pay for the ticket and the towing. There's a cool story that went along with that I'll save for some other time. It was one of those weird things where I was glad it happened. But it's nice out today. It's just really hot. It's hot as Hades out here on the Hop in this bodega and get something to drink.
Sorry to block you, my dear.
Well, when you get a chance, I want you to think about a Dunkin' Donuts. Let me know what you think, all right? Soon as I come back.
These bodegas are so strange. It's like the guy at the front is usually, you know, doesn't necessarily speak English. And so a lot of times he doesn't even tell you how much, you know, he doesn't tell you what the price is. So you kind of have an idea and you give him the money. And this is in a cash transaction. If it's credit or debit, they know what to do. If it's cash, there's little to no communication. It's really strange. But there is an underground communication there, and I think it's for selling drugs. Somebody will walk in and not say anything, and a little exchange takes place, and that's that. Anyway, it is really hot. I hope I'm getting close to Enterprise. This is probably the hottest day of the year so far. This is gonna go down good. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure how this is gonna go in Enterprise. Hopefully I'm not blacklisted from their company. The issue before was I wasn't used to a key fob. I was just used to, you know, regular keys. So before I left Memphis on the trip before, 3 years ago, I had gone into a Kroger and left the car running by accident because there's no keys to take out of the ignition. The door locks itself when you leave with the fob, but, you know, so I got back and realized, wow, I left the car running. I need to be careful. The door unlocks, you know, when you get close to it with the fob, but the car was running. So somebody could have broken into it and stole it. But I'm thinking, you know, they have GPS in these things and they could find it real quick. But anyway, I'm aware of that. Well, I'm aware of that. And so when I got to New York and the car was gone, the rental car was gone, I wasn't thinking that I'd park too close to a fire hydrant. I wasn't worried about that at all. I even saw the fire hydrant and kind of looked and was like, yeah, that's... Anyway, the guy must have got out a measuring tape because I wasn't that close to it. Anyway, I called Enterprise and told them what was going on. And they had forgotten to get my insurance information, so they were in a panic. They didn't know if the car had been stolen or towed. And the girl that I talked to initially, she was like, well, we're not gonna be able to rent you a car to get you home, and you're gonna owe us all the money, and we don't have your insurance information. She was just in a panic. And I finally had to just kind of calm her down, and I said, listen, I'm going up to the police station. Let me see if it's been towed or reported stolen. Don't y'all have a GPS you can track it? They don't have that. I thought every car had that now, but I guess not. Anyway, I'm about to go in there and we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed that there's no whammies.
Welcome in, sir. I'll be with you in a second, okay?
Okay, thanks. Pacifica. Tons of room. In fact, it's got these two seats and there's nothing in the back, which I guess there's fold-up seats, but I don't need that, so that's going to work out perfect. Pretty excited about that. There's the Chariot. I'm like a 16-year-old who just got their driver's license. I just got back to the house and Brooklyn looks totally different behind the wheel than it does walking. I don't hate it. Tons of room. that I like about Enterprise is they have a lot of vehicles to choose from. They're in kind of that medium range as far as pricing goes. And, you know, they're clean, they're up to date. And most of the time I am in a situation where I need them to come pick me up, so that works out. This time, not so much. It's a one-way trip. So there's about a $190 fee for not returning it to the same spot. But it's well worth it this time. I don't think there's any way around that. So I'll just pay it. I've got most everything packed from the looks of things at the apartment. Sarah does not. So she's got some work to do, and she'll get it done. She may not sleep tonight, but she'll get it done.